Welcome to Active Living at the Active Life. I'm Dan Wooten, your host of this monthly television show that features activities and events for older adults. Today we have a wonderful treat, and I mean a great treat. We have Chef Jeffrey Tucker. He's a local chef here in the LaGrange, Troup County area, and he's joined us. We're going to find out a little bit more about him. We know him as Chef Jeff, and I know many of you on this show watch him. So Jeffrey, thank you for being here today.
My pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, today you appeared live at the Active Life and gave a cooking demonstration. And what did you show us today?
Well, today I think I showed you a dessert for the holidays, which is a bosh pear. Poaching it in red wine, that kind of stuff there, and giving a new dessert, an old dessert, a new twist.
Now, what were the type of pears you used in that?
It was a bosh pear. Bosh pear is originated from Belgium and France by a horticulturist by the name of Louis Bosch. And like I was saying in the show earlier, he grew those pears and he passed them around to the local folks in the community. And so happened one of the chefs in the community got it and made a dessert with it. You know, he tried a lot of stuff with it.
Can you buy those type of pears here in LaGrange?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, you can. They're grown in the United States now. They're throughout Canada, all of Europe, but bosh pears mostly, and you'll find them in the West Coast, Northwest, you know, like Washington, just where the apples and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome,
you know?
awesome.
So you can find those in the grocery stores, Publix, Kroger's, all the local grocery stores.
Wow. Well, I was impressed because you really grabbed their attention. A lot of times we have a wonderful Wednesday program, and sometimes people start talking but they were all focused in on learning about what you were preparing. I guess food gets people's attention.
It does. It does. You know, it gets a lot of people's attention. You can overindulge, you can underindulge. But, you know, when you got good food, people pay attention.
Well, let's back up in time. I want to learn a little bit about you, Jeffrey, as far as how old were you when you first had an interest in cooking and culinary arts? Take us back in time. When did you first have an interest and thought, maybe this is something I would like to do for a living?
Okay. Well, I guess when I was about 17, 18 years old, I worked at a place called In Clover. Dan and Joe Stark used to own it, and that's how I met Tony Bishop. Tony Bishop, I was his dishwasher there, Mrs. Stark, you know, before the days of drug testing and filling out applications online and all that kind of stuff. I just walked in and she just put me to work. So that's how that worked out.
I remember In Clover. That was a great place. My wife and I were heartbroken when that closed.
Yeah, a lot of people are, and you know, believe it or not, I've been cooking for over 30 years.
30 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's where I got my start. Right there. And Tony's taught me a lot. You know, he'll tell you the story that he didn't take a whole year off trying to teach me how to cook. I burned up a lot of stuff trying to cook.
And he, of course, he's the owner of the Cart Barn.
Yes, he is.
Which unfortunately is going to be closing, I hear, soon. So.
Well, you know, time has its way of taking care of everything. Tony been cooking for over 40 years, longer than I have, almost as long as I've been alive. And he done a great job. He brought this community together with that. With his restaurant, that is the meeting spot for a lot of people.
That is great. Well, when you were starting to be interested in cooking, what is it about preparing food or serving food that really excites you?
Well, I think it's at the beginning it was the gratification of people's face, seeing that wow, they really like my stuff. You know, that right there, and it's still that way today. You know, I like to see people happy with something I produce. You know, food is one of those things. You either get it right or you don't get it right. You know, I'm just fortunate to get it right, pay attention. But cooking is one thing that makes me.
Wow. Well, tell me about your heritage. Did you grow up and did your mom prepare special meals that, I mean, just really, did your family, is eating a part of the culture and fellowship and gathering together? Is that central in your heritage?
Well, yes, and no, but for cooking, that's something, if I wanted to eat, because I come from a large family. I come from a family of 17.
17?
Yeah. There's a lot of us, and by the time I was growing up, my older brothers and sisters had their own family.
Okay.
And me, hey, I had to do what I got to do. Mm-hmm. So cooking was my thing. I thought I wanted to be a bartender, but that wasn't me.
Okay.
But I thought I wanted to join the military, and that wasn't me either. It kept going back to cooking.
Cooking. Wow.
So cooking was my thing, so I stuck with it.
Wow. So you've been cooking for 30 years. Mm-hmm. Is there a favorite type of food, or do you equally like all different types, or what excites you the most when you prepare a meal? Like, is there a certain type of food, Italian, French? What excites you the most?
I like a lot of different foods. None more than the next one.
Okay.
I like French food. I like Italian. All of those. I like high-end food because it's something different. Mm-hmm. I like experiencing different cultures of food, because you can cook shrimp and grits here, and you can go to Savannah and get fish and grits. Mm. And you can go to New Orleans and get the same thing, but it's prepared totally different, but be equally as good. Asian food, same way. You can take chicken, and they can take their flavor and put a twist to it. That same roasted chicken that they did, you can take it and put barbecue on it. You can do different stuff with food. It's never dull.
Well, let's go to present now. You are the chef at Vernon Woods. How long have you been there?
Well, I've been there since 2004. So for a long time. And I've been blessed to work there at Vernon Woods. And Susan Burdick, my supervisor, she's the best supervisor I had, by far. She lets me do my job,
Do you enjoy working and serving for older adults?
Well, not just older adults, just people in general.
Okay.
I once did a 1-year-old birthday party. And that was just so fun, But let me back up and give you a history of my work.
Okay.
I started out at Enclover back in the 80s, in the mid-80s, and worked my way for 10 years. And then I met a guy by the name of Chuck Jones. And he introduced me to Callaway Gardens. Mm-hmm. And I went down there and worked at Callaway Gardens under Chef Peter, and then Chef Veronica Major, then Chef Henry Menard. I worked under all those chefs there. And then the last chef I worked under was Chef Eric Scuyer. He was a French chef down there at Callaway Gardens. So I worked down at Callaway Gardens for like almost 15 years. Worked all over the place down there. And then when the Olympics came, I worked in Atlanta. I left Callaway Gardens for a brief stint in 95, 96, and went up there and worked during the Olympic Games and met a lot of good chefs around the world up there. And then when I came back to a place called Nippers. It was a bar and grill. It was up and coming bar and grill in LaGrange. Then I went back to Callaway Gardens and went down there and worked under Chef Henry Menard then.
Okay.
So that history there, working with all those fine peoples, and then after I left Callaway Gardens, I went to the local country club here in town. I was the executive chef over there for 4 years. Working there was an eye-opener. I wanted to do fine food, and I got my chance to do that. In my short time there, the country club, it did grow for people coming out to eat. So it's been pretty interesting.
Wow. Now, do you also cater food too for different organizations and events?
I do. I do. I don't too much talk about catering too much, my catering service, because I put Vernon Wood first.
Okay. Okay.
You know, because that's my primary job. Vernon Wood is the place I prefer. You know, but I do a lot of catering for a lot of people in town.
Now, I want to ask you more about that catering party for the 1-year-old. Tell me, what did you cook? What did you prepare? That's a tough crowd. Children are really picky, and what did you prepare that day?
Well, the kids were easy. It was the adults. You feed the kids first, and then you feed the adults.
Okay.
But you give them the basics, the chicken tender mac and cheese and stuff like that, that they like. And the main thing they wanted was the cake and ice cream.
Okay.
The kids do, and open their gifts. So, but now the adults, they wanted a meal.
Okay.
So, you know, they're going to be there, and the kids going to run around. They might want to eat and have fun themselves.
Oh, that's great.
It was nice.
Well, good. I know you get to meet a lot of interesting people. That experience is the term sous chef under the different chefs. That's kind of like an internship, isn't it?
It is.
Training and all that goes part. And is there lessons, I guess, you learn from each chef?
Right. Each one of them brings something different to the table.
Okay.
You know, they all give you structure. One give you how to manage your cost of goods and how to create recipes and all that kind of stuff. And organization. Others teach you how to make sauces and presentation and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So you get a little bit of everything from each one of them.
Wow. Now, it's your current position at Vernon Woods. Do you have some sous chefs, individuals that you are training and teaching also that are learning about the culinary arts?
Well, the people I have working over there, they're approximately my age. They've been in the business for a while. So there are new things that they're learning as well as I am too, because the industry changes all the time. Now, I am going to give you a story that on this show that I've done and some of the things I've done in the past few years. A student by the name of Zaki Brooks, he was on Chop Jr. I don't know if you remember seeing that, but he came to Vernon Woods a couple of times and learned how to do things. And, you know, I taught him a little stuff, but the kid is a natural. He can do it. I don't have to teach him anything. That's something that, you know, he's just gifted with it. So those are some of the things that, you know, it's good to see that people are coming behind you that loves to do it and not do it for the money and not do it for their hype or saying I'm this super chef or anything.
All right. At Vernon Woods, how many meals are you required to make each day?
Well, it depends on the residence itself. We have quite a few residents. We got about 90-something residents over there right now. We have a waiting list for our assisted living side. We're getting there on our independent side. So we are filling up, which is good.
Okay. Good. And so y'all serve all three meals then?
Yes, we do serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. On the assisted living side, and on the independent side, we offer lunch and dinner. Because most of those people, if you're independent, they get up and cook breakfast for yourself. Or if you don't want to do that, you're more than welcome to go to the assisted living side and get a meal.
Oh, good. So what do you look, or do you have goals as a chef? Are there certain types of dishes that you've never prepared before, or different meats you haven't worked with? I've seen some of the cooking shows, and they'll give them a challenge to take one certain type of item and prepare a meal around that. Did you challenge yourself regularly to try new things and attempt new types of dishes?
With the art museum, they challenged me. The local art museum here in town, they challenged me. A couple months ago, I did a meal on the historic Civil War and what the soldiers eating. And I had to create a meal for that. And this just past this weekend, I did appetizers, French appetizers from the French Revolutionary War, because they were showing artwork on French history.
Excellent. Well, Jeffrey, I want to thank you so much for coming to the Active Life today and sitting down and talking with us about your past and what brought you to where you are today. And again, we're glad to have you in our community, and thank you for all the wonderful meals you prepare.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Hey, this is home, so I'm loving it.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Welcome back to Active Living at the Active Life. Joining me now is Wanda Stribling. She is a volunteer here at the Active Life in LaGrange and helps in many ways, but the reason that I've called her to sit with us today is because she just received last week the Volunteer of the Year Award with the Georgia Recreation and Park Association. And that followed just a couple of weeks before that, the Volunteer of the Year Award for the district level. So Wanda, that was a wonderful, exciting event that we went to last week.
It was.
And well-deserved. And just to catch our viewers up, Wanda volunteered for about a 4-month period, helping us in reception when our receptionist was going through surgery and all the events around that. And she was here almost every day and helping sign in people for lunch and other events. And that was tremendous. And she also is a volunteer with our multi-day travel program.
That's correct.
So we want to hit both of those, Wanda, but again, thank you for your service to the Active Life Center.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve, because service is part of my life. As you know, I'm also in Kiwanis, and I serve there as well. But I firmly believe that any time we volunteer, we not only benefit the organization that we're dealing with, we benefit the community, and we also benefit ourselves.
Oh, that's amazing. Again, just the service that you have to your community through the Kiwanis, and not only the local Kiwanis, but statewide, national, and international, that you've traveled all around the world with the Kiwanis Club and have an amazing experience. And so she volunteered at the front desk and signed people up for lunch. And I remember you telling me, Wanda, that one of the benefits of that is you got to know everybody's name.
I got to meet all sorts of people. You know, I know their names, first and last name, not just first name. And it's just a lot of fun. You know, you have a lot of fun. People stop by and they joke and they share things, and you get to share things. So it's a lot of fun.
That was wonderful. Again, a tremendous help, because it would have required us to pull other staff members off of their regular jobs to cover that, and so that was tremendous.
Yeah. And it saves resources. That's another part of volunteering.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the awards that you got. The first was at the district level, and you got a beautiful globe.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was blue and metallic and swirls. It was just glittery. It was really beautiful.
That was an amazing accomplishment, and they awarded. And then last week when we went to Columbus, Georgia, and this was for the annual Georgia Recreation and Parks Association meeting, and we had a beautiful banquet and a great dinner served, and then they called Wanda up and she received an award. And this was like a crystal, how would you describe the shape of it?
Well, it really looked like something out of the Academy Awards. It was like a huge teardrop with my name engraved on it and the year and the award. It was just really beautiful.
It was very nice. And so they didn't make you speak. She didn't have to sing, which was great. But we had a wonderful time. We had the director of Parks and Recreation was there. The manager, Troup County manager was there. And had other Parks and Recreation staff members that were all in attendance too. So it was a very special event. And your husband, Harry, got to attend.
He got to attend as well.
And then the site manager here in LaGrange attended, Molly. And so it was a very special event and well deserved on that.
It was a beautiful banquet.
Right. Well, I want us to jump to another area that you volunteer with so faithfully, and that is our multi-day trips.
Right.
And just a month or so ago, we took a trip to New York City and Washington, D.C. We had a packed full bus of 56 people. And that was a tremendous trip, wasn't it?
It was, and we had the most fun and saw the most sights of Times Square. We went to the observation deck of the Empire State Building. We just saw so many things. It's hard to put them all into words. It was just really a beautiful trip, and everyone had I think, had a great time.
I think so too. It was from Ellis Island, Statue of Liberty, to our experiences at night at the Empire State Building. I've never done night before, and that was wonderful. And the brand new observation deck on World Center 1
Yes.
and then that amazing 9/11 memorial.
The pools, that was really nice.
That was very powerful.
Very, very moving.
It was a moving for everybody.
It was.
And then after all of that wonderful time in the Broadway show, we made our way to Washington, D.C. and spent a day there, and got to take a group to the brand new African American Smithsonian Museum.
And that was a lot of fun. It was informational as well as fun.
And that was a tremendous experience. And so it was, on our trips, one thing that people don't realize, it's not just about seeing things. You get to spend time with people you don't normally get to spend time with, and get to know them at a deeper level. We're sitting down eating meals with each other. We're on the bus and we're telling jokes.
Some of us are.
Some of us tell jokes. And so it's a fun atmosphere, and just some of the greatest people to travel with.
It is.
Around.
We had a very good group and a full bus. It was a full bus, but
it was.
We had a really good time.
So we have Myrtle Beach coming up in the first part of December.
We do.
And that will be a very interesting opportunity for people to go to Myrtle Beach during the wintertime, but they have Christmas shows they'll be able to see, and beautiful Christmas decorations, and so that'll be a blast.
And we're going to have lots of good food too, because it includes some of the meals, so that'll be really nice.
Well, I think maybe I just got a minute left, but I just wanted to maybe we'll share some little teeny previews of some upcoming trips. We're talking about Mackinac Island.
That's correct.
And what's
and
another?
We're thinking about Boston and Maine.
Maine, oh yes.
And we're hoping maybe to do that toward the fall of the year so that we can get that color, the experience
foliage.
of the color. Yeah. That'll be nice to see all the different colors of the trees up there that we don't have those trees here.
So that'll be some exciting. And then we've got France also next year too. So
that's correct.
Just amazing. And then one other that we're going to do for Christmas time. And I can't remember what was that for the one we're looking into for Christmas.
Well, we had talked about Williamsburg.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we're working on that too. So some exciting trips, and again, thank you for your volunteer time and effort, because these trips are so popular. That New York City, Washington D.C. trip, when I got here that morning for trip sign up, the parking lot was full. And we sold out immediately on that trip.
It was.
And so, but again, thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for being here today. And I'd like to thank everybody for joining us for Active Living with Active Life. If you are 55 and older and would like to come out and get to know new people and participate in fantastic events such as travel, exercise, arts and crafts, games, and wonderful programs such as Chef Jeff, come on out here and we'd love to show you around. There's no cost to join, and many of our activities are free. Again, thank you for joining us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.